Today we're talking Stranger Things Season 5, Volume 1. Welcome to Screens in Focus, the podcast where we talk about TV and movies. I'm Diana. Sam is back. Hi, Sam. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm awesome. I'm ready. Stranger Things, these 4 episodes are packed with twists and powers and some of the biggest emotional punches. Will's unlocking something huge, Max alive in the upside down, Hopper nearly sacrificing himself. It's a lot. So we are going to rewind this whole thing, but first, we cannot move forward without giving our first initial reactions to seeing Will and his big moment. So I'm going to ask you, Sam, what did you feel or think seeing Will stop everything all at once?
I may have screamed, yes, when it happened because I was so excited and I was kind of hoping that this would happen because they had kind of like hinted at it when they're in the barn, when Joyce is fighting like the Demogorgon. To me, that felt like Will was intervening because that thing is vicious and you saw how it attacked Mrs. Wheeler. And so I was kind of hoping that that would happen in like a bigger way. What about you?
I was surprised, excited, like beyond belief. I know everybody was feeling that. Like I was up off my couch. I think I was just like in a way speechless too, because it was a long scene, which I love, and it was giving us so much, and you had to take in all these pieces. And so I just feel like Will is such a heartbeat of this whole series, and from season 1 to now, and seeing that all come together, it was just like magic. I just thought it was so cool, with him being the force and not being the victim. It was just amazing. So, and we're going to break it down a little bit more, but I just wanted to get your initial reaction on that. So, in saying that, going back to episode 1, I want to know what hit you first when you saw it. And did you expect what you saw or something different? And what stood out to you as important?
So I really like that we opened up the episode with like Will being in the upside down, kind of probably like after he was taken. I've always kind of wanted to see more of that. I definitely didn't expect to have the whole, not all of them, but most of them are living at the Wheelers. Ted loves this. You can tell by he's so enthusiastic. He loves it so much. And I didn't really expect for Dustin to still be so bothered by how the town is treating Eddie. I know that they were really close and, it means a lot to him, but he's always been kind of like a level-headed person, so I was shocked that he's letting his emotions take over. Not that it's necessarily bad or wrong. I mean, he gets into trouble with it, but I don't think that's wrong. But I really did like how even when he's being teased in school, how you can see like how like the 4 of them are still really close, and like how Lucas, Mike, and Will stepped in to save him. But I'm still annoyed by him because I feel like he's still acting like his grief is more important than anything else. They're all grieving. They've all lost people. And I'll never forgive him for getting that snake killed because I don't know what you thought was going to happen there, Dustin. Like, it made me sad to see the snake die.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know what that was at first. I'm like, what is that? I thought they went and got one of his something at his house or something, but maybe he shouldn't have done that. But also the reaction of that group of kids is not right either, right? I mean, maybe he didn't expect that to happen because would you really expect someone to kill an animal like that, a reptile? But still, that's pretty harsh too. I don't think well, they're pretty rough too, but
I was going to say, I don't know. Because...
Go ahead.
Oh.
No, I was going to say, I was feeling for Dustin. Like, I actually liked that he was grieving and feeling the loss and sticking up for Eddie, because if they didn't show that, that means that Eddie would have been forgotten in this season. And I did not want Eddie to be forgotten because Eddie was such a pivotal character in season 4. So if we didn't see Dustin react this way, he would have went by the wayside. They would have gone on with season 5, and I would not have been happy with that. So I feel like
Well, I
I'm
don't.
so happy that Dustin reacted the way he did, because that's how you would feel for a friend. And also that they all still think that Eddie was the person that killed Chrissy. Like the whole town and people still think that, and it wasn't that. So I like that they kept that storyline alive in season 5.
Well, I still think they could have done that without him having to face off against 4 bullies. They could have talked about Eddie
Yeah.
just within the group. And I feel like
True. Yeah.
it definitely does matter that they're still blaming Eddie for Chrissy. But I feel like at the same time, like, maybe at the end you can, like, redeem his name without having to put yourself at, like, harm, at, like, and I feel like,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. Like, I mean, I'm a fiery person. I feel like if I would be there with him. I'm not saying I'd make the smartest choices either. It's gotta be a better way to do that, because they're bigger than you, dude. Like, you're not gonna win. I know that's not the point. I don't know. I see it both ways, I think, but I just
Wasn't
think
it?
there's.
I thought it was pretty cool the way they reintroduced like Lucas. He's so big now and he's like coming. I'm like,
I
oh, whoa,
know.
you better back up, dudes. This guy, he looks big. When they came face to face, he was around the same size, but just watching him be revealed, because I mean, it's been 3 years for these guys filming, so they've grown, and so it was kind of
Yeah.
cool to see them at this age and how they looked. It's like, no, we got each other's backs. We're still buddies, friends, and we're going to be there for one another. I love that whole dynamic between the 4 of them, because you're right,
Mm-hmm.
because the 3 of them are like, hey, we got to do this, we got to do this, and every person has their own reaction to things, and this is the way Dustin reacted to it. And whether it's right or wrong, it doesn't matter. It's how he is reacting to it. And I love that the other 3 have their own opinion and their own way, because not everybody has the same way of dealing with things. So I thought that was good, because if they all 4 were the same, then it'd be like, oh, okay, whatever. But that's not reality. So I do appreciate that they gave each of them their own stance of how they deal with these type of things.
Do you think that with Dustin being kind of like how he is, it's going to make him more susceptible to Vecna in any way, because he's like sad and like depressed, and that's kind of how like Vecna will get his people?
How Vecna gets you? Ooh, I
Mm-hmm.
hadn't thought about that. Like, can he use Eddie somehow to get to him? Maybe, because that is a weak spot. And maybe that's what they're trying to show us. That's what I was going to say. I'm so glad you asked that now, because I was wondering, like, we see this and we think, okay, we're moving on to the next thing. It's going to deal with Will and Vecna and Levin and all these other people. But you're right. Like, will it affect him? Will it be used? And maybe
Mm-hmm.
that is why we saw this with Dustin. Right? Like, we don't know why we're seeing this, because everything's connected one way or another. And there's a lot of storylines that are going to be tied up for each character. So what we're seeing with Dustin is really important. We just haven't seen it play out entirely yet.
Yeah, and I have faith that the Duffer brothers are going to wrap it up nicely and neatly. But yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was a nice way to bring Murray into the fold by making him their contact to like the outside world, and he brings them supplies. And I think he has probably more fun figuring out how to hide the supplies than he actually does like interacting with the people. 'Cause he's just so like proud of where he hides them, and it's like really cute. And I think that's kind of nice. It makes me worried for Murray, just because he's not totally. He's like a fringe character to make him, which might
Right.
make him a little more expendable, which will make me sad because he's
Yeah.
funny. And I think what I really liked about the first episode was we learn how they communicate with each other about the crawls and the burns. I loved that. And I think like I was trying to figure out cause we talked earlier about like the radio station and how it was going to be like how it's going to play into.
Right.
And I was completely wrong. I didn't think that they were all going to work there. And I didn't think it was going to, I thought I was going to be outside Hawkins, and it's not, it's in Hawkins. And I love that it's called the Squawk. And yeah, I think that's just like a really clever way to do that. And you can get this communicated to a bunch of different people, and they don't have to be all in the same spot, and you have no idea that they're even communicating. One thing that I noticed, and I don't know if it's in like the other seasons, probably not. It's mostly in this one, but like Jonathan is definitely the expendable child, and Joyce kind of treats him like she treats Will like he's the only kid that matters. And like that's gotta like bum Jonathan out. Like I noticed that when they're trying to figure out like what they're all gonna do, and Will says, "Oh, I can do it," and it's like kind of dangerous, and that's why Joyce doesn't want him to do it. But she's like, "Hey, Jonathan, you can go, right? Like you can figure it out." And
Well,
it's
he
like,
is
okay, cool.
older. He is
By like what,
older,
2 years, the
an
rest of the
adult.
kids are doing
He's
it.
an adult. Yeah, he's an adult.
But Dustin's a child, and he's doing it.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't know.
that's
I'm
true.
not a mom,
I
so I don't understand.
well, no, 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 no. I think you bring up a valid point. I really do. But I I do think that she does worry about Will a lot. And I think two things. One, I think because Jonathan is older and I'm assuming he's 18, not, 19, 18, 19 years old. So he is an adult. I feel like she thinks he's stronger also. And you tend to sometimes, maybe when your son is strong or child is strong, you don't have to, do quite as much for them as you do maybe another one. Also, her younger son was taken to the upside down for a long time and everybody thought he was dead. And it's like all of a sudden that fear is in you and you're afraid something's going to hurt them again. So I think
Hmm.
that's also part of it. But I also understand what you're talking about because Jonathan does have feelings. He is her son still. So yeah, so that would be interesting to see how he feels about that also. Yeah.
And I don't really trust Dr. K. Like I know she's kind of a bad guy, so we're not really supposed to. But I was watching this like earlier today, and something just icked me out. Like I don't, and I was trying to figure out like we've seen a bunch of different groups try to handle the upside down. We've never seen anyone like build a base in the upside down. So that's like just standing out to me is like she's different than the others, maybe.
Mm. Yeah.
And then I was trying to figure out like her age, like she's age appropriate. So is she somehow related to Henry Creel or like something like that? I just feel like there's too many. I don't know, it just feels
Right.
weird, like they move the burn up, and we don't really know why, I don't think, and it's the same night that Holly's taken. And is that meant to be, like, a distraction so they could have gotten Holly? Because like, maybe they're aware of what's going on or something, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
this isn't in the first episode, but, like, they're holding 8 hostage there, and do you think that them holding 8 hostage could be helping to block Elle from being able to find Holly and Vecna? Because she's not able to search for them. And that's never happened before, really, I don't think. But Linda Hamilton, great. Such a good character. I have so many questions. I don't like she knows too much, I think it seems.
Yeah. Okay. So
Or
as you were talking, so
what if
many
she's
thoughts.
Papa's
Go ahead.
wife or something? You know, like,
Right.
is that like a
Well,
connection?
I know. I agree. I think that there's more to it. I really do. I think that she has some backstory connection to something that we don't know yet. Absolutely. What's interesting is she also, I believe, was in Resident Alien. And I keep getting her character confused because she was playing a similar role in Resident Alien where she had been affected by the aliens when she was young, a child. And when I saw her in here, I'm like, wait. And I had to really think because it was that whole government group and somebody infiltrating. I know you probably haven't seen Resident Alien. For people who
Mm-mm.
haven't, it's about an alien who comes to Earth, pretends to be a human. It's a comedy. It's great. But there is a military factor in there, that are trying to find out answers and capture them and kill people and all this other stuff. And it's almost like, oh my gosh, this is some similar role that she's playing. So in my mind, I was thinking, oh, she was a kid when something happened. I'm like, wait, that's the other show she was in. So anyway, I wouldn't be surprised if she does have a backstory. So it's interesting to see where that might go for her, what we might learn as to why. And that's such a good thought on 8, on if she's preventing 11 from finding or
You know
how they're
what's probably
using her.
preventing her from being able to find anything is they have those, like, blocker like, they're called, like, porcupines, I think, or something. Those, like the sound machines that were hurting her.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
probably why. They probably have those up.
Well, when they showed 8, I saw them like around her. So I don't
Mhm.
know if they're using those also on 8 or if they're using them to block 11. I don't know how those
Could be
work
both.
specifically,
Mhm.
but wait, I have a side question.
Mm,
What was that thing, that living thing that was in there, that lab? What was that? Do you know?
I think just maybe, like, some I have no idea. I don't
I
like it,
don't
though.
either. It's like, did somebody say what this is or was? I'm like, what is
Mm-mm.
this? I'm
No, I
like,
think Dr. K said just don't like it. Like, it likes heat,
right.
hates the cold, it'll so I don't think she
Yes.
said exactly what it was. I was trying to think, like,
I didn't know if they had it earlier. Like, what is this thing? It feels
mm-mm.
like it's part of the upside down, but is it not? What is this? And,
Oh, it's probably part of the
is
upside
this any,
down.
yeah, but like, what exactly? And
I
that
mean, there are, like,
wall, what's that
tentacles
wall?
and stuff. I think the wall it goes around Hawkins, I think, so I think it's just Hawkins. Do you
Yes,
think
yes.
that do you think 8 could be doing that? I don't know,
Hmm.
because like, her
No, we're
power
gonna
is
find
to,
out
like,
what it is,
project,
but yeah.
like, things that aren't there. But we've never seen anyone,
Oh?
like, interact like that, though, I don't think.
Ooh, you're right. I forgot her power. What's interesting, though, is that the military seem to know what this wall, they don't seem to be boggled by it because, like they said, that guy
Mm-mm.
was urinating on it like he just
But
had no fear of it.
and there was, like, because I have the subtitles on, so I think when he was peeing, it was like there was, like, a sizzle.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means. I don't think that'll be important, but I was like,
Subtitles.
they wouldn't show it if not.
So,
So, yeah, it was like something like that, sizzling or something.
yes. That is hilarious. Hilarious. I also too loved how they showed that the radio and how they communicated, how they were able to orchestrate, how they had code words, how they had the song Upside Down. I love this song, by the way. Just so much, and their way of getting around and just working together and the radios and just everything. So I thought that was pretty brilliant. I think one thing that left me, I guess, puzzled was how we ended season 4 and how we got to now. Because, like, how much time has passed and the skies were turning dark and flowers were dying. And then all of a sudden now we're like this. So it's kind of like I don't know what that transition was. So it's interesting that we didn't get that. And the whole Wheeler family becoming so prominent in these 4 episodes, I thought that was pretty big, huge, how big this family is central to
Mhm.
this whole story. Yeah.
But I think it's, like, 10 months, like, after everything, I think. Because I
Okay.
thought when they were in the hospital, I thought that Lucas was, like, talking to Max and being like, "It's been 10 months," or something, like, but I could be wrong. But I don't know. But yeah, but I wondered, like, the same thing, and I think it's, like, 86 now or 87,
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
like that.
Let's talk about the major characters or story arcs in episodes 1 through 4. So 11 and Hopper, what did you think about their storyline here?
It's kind of like how it's kind of all like, I think Hopper's, like, dadness is going into overdrive. He's always had, like, I mean, he was in Russia for a while, but, like, I feel like when they were together, he's always been, like, overcautious with her and, like, she couldn't go to the dance and this and that, so I think it's just a continuation of that because he's really afraid of losing her. What bothered me was that he doesn't seem to care about himself. Like, he was willing to
Yeah.
sacrifice, which, yes, sacrificing yourself in that's all dandy and stuff, but you weren't even gonna tell your daughter, like, that's not okay with me. And he probably doesn't want that's probably why he didn't really want her going on the crawls because if he had a chance to kill Vecna, he was gonna take it, I think,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
that would be harder if she's with him because that's an added, like just like a variable that he doesn't have to like deal with. And it didn't even matter because she still ended up in the upside down. So like he prevented her from doing all this stuff and it should have just I don't know, like I I love how they are with each other because they communicate in such a way that is very like father-daughter, I think is my like I don't know. And so I get it from her like frustration, but I also like he's a dad, so can you really blame him? Like I don't blame Joyce for keeping Will to herself. Like I do and I don't. So I think it's like the same with
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
But I want him to think about what he means to other people because he's very important. I think that's big in the Hopper, like, and just like his characters, he thinks he doesn't matter because his daughter died, his wife left him, he was a drunk, like all that stuff. And he's so important. And if he does die, I will be a mess.
Yeah. So, of course, the father-daughter dynamic is at its strongest. And as you were talking about it, it made me think that Hopper's character has always been very comedic. Like he's been funny in the earlier seasons. And I feel like these 4 episodes that wasn't central here because he's really, like you said, in dad mode and everything is so important. Everything is so elevated, that that's the mode that they're in. And he's very much more serious in what he's doing. And
Mhm.
I thought one of the most heartfelt moments, of course, was when he tells her, I'm so proud of you. It just hit so hard. And I feel like he sees her, like she's grown now, like she was a kid and she's still a kid. But what I mean is he sees her for her strength now and what she has been able to do and who she is. And so I just think that that was a powerful moment between a daughter and even though it's not his, his biological daughter, it is his daughter.
It's his daughter.
And
Yeah.
yeah, I also feel that that lab sequence showed 11 at her weakest and also at her strongest because she doesn't have her powers and for part of it, but I feel like emotionally she's had such clarity. And that moment when they faked us out, I was like, what are you doing? I really thought he was going to die. I mean, they really had me because the way that 11 was reacting to him, like she couldn't get up. So Hopper, no, as she was up against that window and then he goes in and he has those flashes of what happened to his family, his daughter and the way he looked and everything. And he just is going in ready and he takes like a breath. And it's like, I'm ready to do this because ultimately he wants to save 11. I mean, he
Mhm.
figures if I kill Vecna, then 11 will be good. Like she will be the strongest. She won't have to fight against him. But then they faked us out. But I was so glad. I think they faked us out in a good way. Like I think there's some bad fake outs in other TV series, but this one I thought was done well. And it made sense. It
Mm.
made sense. So
And it makes that episode in season 2 not useless anymore because now we at least know a little bit about her.
yeah,
Because I like when we
exactly.
were rewatching it, I had gotten like just as annoyed as I had before because I was like, we wasted a whole episode on a character that never comes
I
back.
know. I know. And I'm like,
It's gonna,
what? This
I'm gonna
feels so
insert foot in
out.
mouth.
Yeah,
Hmm.
this is it felt that's why I'm saying everything has a purpose. So that's why we might see something and not think we like it or know it, but it won't be until we get to the end that we can actually say that because we don't really know. All right, what about Holly and the Wheeler family and Henry? All of that.
So I think by not telling anyone in their family about what they've all been up to for the last couple of years, Mike and Nancy have left their parents and Holly extremely vulnerable, as you can see throughout that episode. And I don't think Ted would have believed anyone at first, but I feel like after 3 or 4 years of it, he might. But at least you can like help him, like because they talk about that in the hospital about how they both could have done a better job and made them leave and yada yada yada. In hindsight, it's always 2020, of course, but
Right.
I think Mike and Nancy treating Holly like a kid isn't fair because they're not necessarily in a universe where kids get to be kids. And I feel like Holly's the age that they all were when this started. Like she's what, like 11 or something like that. And she may not have trusted Mr. Watson if she knew that there were actual like monsters out there. And I'm actually really excited to see how A Wrinkle in Time plays into this season. I have a tattoo of it like on my arm, and I love that
You
book.
do?
I do actually, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited, and not that this is a funny moment at all, but I did like how Holly's like being tossed around like a rag doll, and her parents are like Karen's getting wine drunk, and Ted's out there hitting golf balls into pine
Yeah.
trees.
Yeah.
Made me kind of sad because like I don't know, it made me sad, but I think one of the things that I thought about earlier was how the Wheelers kind of mimic like the Creel family. Like the dad was older, kind of a jerk. Mom was a little bit young, like on the younger side. They had kids, weird, like oddballs, like just, because they played like D&D and stuff. And so I think it's like a nice like parallel to that, to like the family. I don't know if that's intentional, but I think one thing that is like we've come to know over the last couple of years is that like Henry and Vecna, they thrive on fear and control. He quietly orchestrates everything from the upside down and then uses like the Demogorgons to do like his bidding. And it kind of makes me wonder how and why he chose the kids that he did. And does he realize that he's kind of exactly like Papa because he's finding kids who he might think have like,
Right.
some
Yeah.
like special like whatever, and kids are the most vulnerable group here, and he's exploiting that, picking out the loner kids, the kids who get teased. And it makes me wonder like the same thing, because like the same thing happened to Will that's happening to all these other kids, and whenever they get free, will they exhibit powers? Like will they be able to help like Will because they'll all be able to control like him and like the Demodogs or the Demogorgons or whatever?
I think that when the Wheelers were being attacked and all of that was starting to transpire, I was like surprised. I thought, whoa, we're going here. They're going to get this kid and they're going to kill these parents I thought he was going to kill them, right? Because then they could have been very well dead, that, kill these parents that we've seen for 4 seasons or 5 seasons now, right?
Yeah.
But that was a little bit shocking to me because they'd been around for a long time. And the way that it was happening and to see her on the ground, and when Nancy and 11 finally get there, I'm like, holy shit, they're dead. They're dead. Yep. And he's taken Holly. I mean, that was crazy. But I'm like, whoa, we are really going there in season 5, which I think was a good choice because that just shows you, what Vecna is capable of and what the story where it can take us. So I thought that was really interesting to watch. Also, we finally got to see what was affecting Nancy. Remember, I remember when we asked what was the most, I don't know if it was heartbreaking or scary or something like that. And I said, I was really worried for Nancy because I'm like, why is she breaking down? And I thought that was a perfect reaction because feels so guilt ridden because she had this information from Vecna, but she didn't know what to do with it. Like you said, hindsight's 2020 because you don't know. What do you know? And you don't know what that means and how it's going to happen and everything else. But here it is,
and
affecting her family.
She like tells the group and they're like, yeah, whatever, it's fine, it's not happening. And so she isn't being like believed or like listened to either. So it makes it hard for you to take, but yeah.
Okay. So, and in Henry, we do see him as Mr. What's It, and also just it's so interesting how he is able to have Holly see this life and this world different than how the Upside Down really is. So that's different too. And which leads us into Max. And Max being revealed. First off, I do want to say Lucas being there for Max was so heartwarming, heartbreaking at the same time. I love that he's there for her. when Max was running, when she heard the music and she was almost out, and then all of a sudden the music stops. And it's so funny because I used to play cassette tapes, right? So I know
Mhm.
what that's like when that tape, runs out and you have to rewind it and it takes forever, or you have to switch it over, whatever it might be. So I get it.
Mhm.
But I'm thinking, wow, that was her moment to jump out there. Anyway, so what did you think about Max and the memory that she's trapped in here with Vecna's memories?
When Holly, like, opens up the map and she goes to get it, like, the handwriting had, like, a feminine, like, touch to it, so I was really hoping that it was Max who had left the map for her to come and, like, find her,
Ah,
and I'm really excited to figure out what the memory is because he, like, won't go in there, and if it's gonna scare
yes.
Vecna, like, I would be probably scared too because I'm like, "If this is scaring him, how scary could it be?" But I
I
also
heard I heard that there is a play.
Yeah, the
And that
first yes.
play, yeah,
Mhm.
that play, there's that, I guess, a prequel, and I think that it might contain information about Henry when he was a kid, and it has to do with this area. That's what I gathered from what I heard.
Yeah, I think this is where he gets, like, maybe his, like, powers from, like, maybe he runs into, like, Dr. Brenner or, like, beforehand or his dad does or something. Because his dad disappeared in something, I don't know, like, I think I read that about the play that his dad goes, like he comes back, I think, eventually, but I think he goes missing for a while. In, like, Vietnam, maybe? I don't know. But,
Mm,
yeah, so I do think the play probably has a lot to do with, like, the memory, and I just wanna know what happened. So maybe we'll get to see
yeah,
that in, like, another episode. Because I feel like it's
yeah.
not fair. Well, did they put is it on Netflix, the play? The First Shadow?
I don't know.
I don't
I
think it
don't
is.
know.
I think they have, like, a documentary about the making of, but I don't think they have the actual one.
I'm go check that out before we meet for the next conversation before volume 2. All right.
What I liked most about, the scenes with Max and Holly is it shows how strong Max really is because she
Yeah,
talks about the 3 options, and she obviously hasn't chosen option 1, which is great and amazing, and I don't think she will because I think she now has a purpose to, like, get
yeah,
Holly out. What does
yeah.
scare me is I was reading something, and it was like, what if Max has to sacrifice herself to let Holly out? And I was like, I don't like that. I just don't like that.
I
But I
don't
do
either.
think when and if Max gets out of her coma, she'll be the best person to help them fight, like, against Vecna because she probably knows him better than anybody because she's been in his memories. So I feel
World,
like
the
that could work
memories, yeah, and
against
his
mhm. That could work against him and in our favor. So I'm excited to see, like, where that goes.
all right, let's talk about Will and the hive mind and the powers. Tell me what you thought about all of this.
Oh. I've been kind of wondering if Will could spy on Vecna ever since Vecna used Will to spy on his friends. Because I feel like it's a two-way street, and I was kind of hoping that we got to see more of that. And I feel bad for him because his mom's treating him like he'll break into 1,000 pieces if he's out of her sight, and that will mess with your confidence, even if you don't have to fight like an interdimensional being or whatever Vecna actually is. Like, it's like he can't be his own person because of the thing that happened to him, and he's not defined by what's happened to him. So I'm pretty happy he and his mom had a conversation about, like, yeah, I know you want to keep me safe, but you got to start to, like, believe in me and to, like,
Yeah,
trust me that I'll, like, do the right thing. And I think moving forward, the episodes will be because of we got that big thing, and he's tapping into powers he didn't know he had. So I do think moving forward, it'll be more about him learning to trust himself and kind of doing what he wants to do. And I think, but he's got to be careful that Vecna doesn't figure it out and use it against him because it's already been used against him once. So I'm
yeah.
hoping it's like a subtle enough thing that Vecna will be unawares, but we'll see.
I think with Will, I love that his instincts have always been right, that
Mm.
his connection, that we kept seeing, that the hive mind really never left him. And the show finally admits that. Robin has been so instrumental. Their relationship has been so strong, and he's able to grow. He's grown so much with her. I love that when she tells him that the radio receiver explanation is perfect because Will doesn't spam magic, he channels it. So I thought that was pretty cool. And his arc is the emotional core of these 4 episodes. And it's like everything else is just like chaos, but Will's story is like destiny. Anyway, we're gonna talk about that final episode a little bit more, but I want to get to our rapid fire because I think this will reveal and spark some things in both of us. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you some questions and you are going to just give me your reaction to each of these. Sometimes when things are just thrown at you, you have a different answer. If you had to really think about it, it would be different. So here we go. Our character check-in. Who has the most growth right now?
I think it's Will, because I think he's starting to accept himself for who he is.
I have Will because he fully steps into who he is emotionally and power-wise, and he's not hiding anymore. He's just owning it, and I love it. All right. Who has the most to lose?
I think Joyce, because I feel like she could lose Hopper, Jonathan, or Will, and even if all those people survive, someone's going to die, probably. And I feel like she'll end up needing to comfort one of them in some way. And I think she always takes on everyone else's like grief sometimes, maybe, or she's just there for everybody. She's just a mom. And I think it's got to be exhausting for her. And she never gets to take care of herself. Yeah.
This one's hard because I think you could name any of them and they'd all have something so significant to lose. But I'm thinking it's Max, maybe because she could be trapped forever. No body, no future, no closure. It's like, what's going to happen with her? Also thinking of whole family-wise, the whole Wheelers, because if Holly succumbs to all this, everybody's going to lose, all her family and everybody else. So, but again, anybody. I agree with you with Joyce too. I mean, she went through my mind. Each of the 11, she went through my mind. It's like there's so many. Will. So it could be any of them. All right. So whose heart is aching the most?
So I have 2 jokes and then I have a real one. I was going to say Steve for watching his Beamer get drilled. That's his baby. And then me watching the Turnbow's wine cellar get destroyed and become a casualty. But I think overall, I think for real, I think it's made me sad. I think it's Will. I think because he's, like you said, he's at the center of all of this and he's, he got abducted. He gets teased. And I think his heart just I think it just aches because he also has unrequited love for Mike. And yeah, it just makes me real sad because his heart's just been through it.
Okay. I was going to say 1, but now you have me leaning the other. As soon as you said that, I'm like, holy crap, that's the answer. But what I was going to originally say was 11 because I feel like 11 feels intensely. I feel like she has this weight on her since she was 10. I mean, all her life, actually, all her life. I feel like she holds so much in everything that she does. And I feel like right now she feels like the weight. I don't feel like she thinks, oh my God, the weight's on me, but she is carrying it like that. Like she feels like everything, all of these, my friends, my father, just everybody, Mike, my love is like
the world.
Everything is weighing on me. Yeah, the world. So I feel like because of that, her, but I really think you're right with Will. All right. Who is the most sensible or thinking most clearly?
I want to go with Nancy and Mike. I feel like they both, Nancy doesn't really let the drama with her, Jonathan and Steve get in her way. And I feel like they're good at coming up with plans. Like the Wheelers are just planners. Like Mike, I think, has taken advantage of him being a dungeon master or whatever they're called, the DD thing, the
Uh-huh.
person who makes up the campaigns or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
I feel like he's always like he has that kind of mind where he can come up with that kind of stuff. And I think, yeah, I think even though like he's thinking of it like it's a D&D campaign, I still feel like that. I don't know. You can call it whatever you want, but I think he and Nancy are thinking the most clearly.
I think that you're right. I would say my initial thought is Mike
Hmm.
because he loves, of course, hard, but I don't feel like it, not in this 4 episodes, it doesn't affect his decisions. Like he's still clear headed. I mean, mind you, he's protecting those kids from
Hmm.
the Demogorgons. He is there for Will and
Hmm.
tells him pivotal things that need to be said. Like he knows how to get to people, just like he was with 11 last
Hmm.
season. And here he is with Will. It's just like he just knows the appropriate things to say, even to Nancy, even
Hmm.
to be a sibling. So I think he's being really level headed and it's very sensible. So I think he's thinking the clearest. Robin, too. I think Robin
Hmm.
is too. Okay. Who is making the worst decisions?
Dustin. Just for him, I don't know. Just for and
So,
I do get it because, like I said, like I wouldn't be any better than him, so I don't know why I'm expecting him to be
yeah,
better. But I just
yeah,
think
yeah.
I would like to hope that I'm thinking of it as like an adult, and I don't know if maybe that's the best thing. But I just want him to just there's more important things like to do right now than to, go bully some bullies.
Yeah. I think I feel for Dustin. That's why I wouldn't have thought of him, but I can see what you're saying. And look, it got him beat up. It got his snake or the snake killed. But at the same time, he's so smart. That's the thing though. He's always the smart person. He's the one who figured out it's a circle. You
Mhm.
know,
Yep.
that wall. And he's able to figure out, I believe it's him. Who knows if it's him, the radio, the tracking of people, and staying connected and all of that. So he's so, so smart, but he also has this other part of him too, right? So I love that we get to explore all that. But in saying all that, who's making the worst decisions? Dr. K. Dr. K's making the worst decisions. So
I didn't
she's
even
going to be out of here. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So
I
we'll
was talking
see.
to Roger earlier about just like the show, and I was telling him about my
Yeah,
theory with like Dr. K being something. Do
yeah.
you think she could be
Uh-huh.
Eleven's grandma or something? Did we see her mom's parents? She'd be an appropriate
No, and
age.
I would, yeah, yeah. Oh, definitely. But I hope not, because
I
why would she
know.
treat her daughter like that? Why would she treat her granddaughter? Sorry, her granddaughter
Well,
like that.
she's just trying to find
You
her.
guys,
We don't
right?
know that she's going to do anything bad. Like, yeah, I mean, she does have 8 locked up, so I'm not hopeful, but we don't necessarily know that she wants to
Yeah.
kill her. She just might wanna
No,
I mean,
that's
she's not
true. No,
using,
no,
like
no.
well, I mean,
Yes.
she is using those thingies to, like, overpower her and stop
Yeah.
her powers from working, but I think that may be to save the soldiers, but I feel like you could also just be like, "Hi, I'm your grandma. Let's just work together," instead of being what you're doing, you know?
Yeah, but then you're about to kill or not care what happens to the person that was her father figure. I mean,
Yeah. Meh.
I
Oh,
don't
I
know.
know.
Yeah,
I don't
true.
know.
Yeah. Well, and the whole military, not just Dr. K, all those people, because they're just, running out of fear or reacting and never really understanding things. Who is the funniest providing comic relief?
I think either Robin or Murray. Like when Robin and they have gotten caught by Joyce and they're in the car and she just like is like kind of like talking under her breath. She's like, "Sorry if I come off like my mom said I everything that comes out of my mouth like it sounds like disingenuous or something like that." And I thought that that's just like a funny little like thing. And then like with Murray, I don't know, he just always has like something smart to say or like underhand.
Yeah. Yeah. I knew you were going to say him.
I love
Which is
him.
a
If
good
he dies,
answer.
I'll be sad.
So for me, I would say Dustin because he makes me laugh every time he is in, usually with Steve or whoever, but when he's yelling and something chaotic is happening and just the way he screams is just so much fun to me. He's funny. Also, Robin, she has been so funny also. So they're both my comedic reliefs in this. And yes, Murray too. All right.
And but I feel
Go
like
ahead.
there should be like a shout out to the scene when they're trying to get the kids with delightful Derek. We haven't talked about Derek yet, but
I know that's true. Well,
whenever whenever they're trying to get the kids out, and there's the whole like scene where they're like, "We've hit Dick" and all that stuff, and like all just like that was so funny. But it involves like, but
yeah,
it's like a Robin scene, so of course it's funny. And
that is
that
funny.
the little girl I should have said was making all the wrong choice. It was the one who who tatted on them.
Yes.
She's making those wrong choices. I take it back.
Yes,
It's no
that's
longer
right.
Dustin.
Yes. You're right. That's so funny.
I was like, oh shit.
I know. All right. Who are you most curious to see next?
I just want to see what happens in like the desert in Vecna's mind. So I just maybe Vecna's back. Like I want to see like how all this got started because he must have gotten his powers from like somewhere, you know.
I love that answer. You always have such great answers. All right, so I would agree with you, but that's not who I was thinking. I was thinking I want to know what's going to happen with 8 and how that affects 11. Like what is that relationship going to be like going forward? And also with Will too. Like how is that all going to work? So I can't wait to see that. All right. Which character storyline has the biggest emotional weight?
I think it's got to be Will for me. I think it just, he was so tiny whenever he gotten like taken. And I think even after, like he hasn't been like he's a different Will now because things are different. And I think it just makes me really sad and it's very emotional. And I think he blames himself probably for all this happening. Like if I hadn't have done that, if I would have been faster, maybe the Demogorgon wouldn't have gotten me. And then at the same time, he's dealing with that. He has like regular and, he has his regular like external and internal struggles. Like he's a teenager, so he's growing up. He is probably queer. He is queer. I think he's come out like in the show as being gay. And being queer in the 80s, no, like it's hard now. I can't imagine doing it back then. That takes such bravery. And hoping your parents accept you and your friends accept you. And then, he's always probably worrying about like what's happening in the Upside Down and with Vecna because as Steve calls them, the Goosies come back every once in a while. And that's probably going to be jarring. Like you probably think you're just getting back to normal life. And he's starting, he and his friends have had a good 10, 11 months or whatever it is. And boom, right back in it. Like he can't like escape it. Maybe eventually he will, but.
Yeah. For me, it is a combination of 3 people, and that's Mike, Will, and 11, because I just feel they're so tied together. And it's just this triangle, and their choices, their love, their loyalty, they're just the emotional core of the entire series. So I think everything that happens next runs through them. So that's what I think. But I do want to talk about that final moment with Will, like what we actually saw, because it was so huge. We talked about it at the beginning of this episode. I want to come back to it. After we talk about that, we are going to also bring up any miscellaneous people that we didn't talk about, that or issues or stories or anything else that we want to bring up. So what did you think about like that moment when Vecna comes through and raises Will and all of that part of it? Tell me more of what you thought about that.
I wasn't expecting it. I didn't think we would get to see the Vecna scene because I think that was in the trailer. I didn't think that was going to happen like these 4 episodes. I thought it was going to be like
right, yeah,
and it was really brutal.
Yeah.
Like he killed that guy like with his hand, and that's just like, oh, I was like, oh, I maybe even have like screamed or something. My heart breaks for Will because like I said, he can't escape any of this. Like he's stuck with it, and I don't know. I thought they were gonna kill everyone, and I was like, that is brave. But then I thought, oh well, maybe that's where the like A Wrinkle in Time comes in. It could be like, could be fixed in a certain way or whatever. So that like I was like, maybe they could do that, and that really wouldn't be like too bad. But I let out a cheer as soon as he stopped, like the first one. I was like, he's going to listen to Robin. And that's such like growth for him to be able to like trust himself like that. Like, so good. And that gives me hope for like the rest of like the season because like it's been a pretty brutal like 4 episodes. Like, nothing really bad happened, but nothing good happened. Like, I was
Yeah.
worried about Ted. I cried for Ted and for Karen. Like, because I was like, they can't kill those parrots.
I
And
know.
just like,
Yeah.
yeah. And like, yeah. But I do think that maybe
Well,
eventually.
it's kind of like Ted finally manned up though, right? Because Ted had been such a whatever of a character, but the fact that he's like, you know what, I need to defend my family. It was like, oh,
Mhm.
finally, you're showing
Yeah.
something
It's
of
probably like, what
value,
is this
you
like
know?
bear doing here? But 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 to come at it with like just like a golf club, that's like, all right, Ted, I see you. Maybe that's what Karen fell in love
Yeah.
with, was that like, and
Right, I know.
just
It's like we had to find what?
yeah.
What
But
was it?
seeing her, like, how, like, she looks frazzled. Like, she doesn't, I mean, she looks good, but she doesn't look good. She looks upset,
Yeah.
and, like, they're obviously fighting a bunch, which is just sad. But I kind of want her to get, like, her second win and go find, like, a younger guy or something. Leave Ted behind.
I know, right? I don't know. Okay. So I do wanna mention about Will in that moment. I really loved how it was Robin's voice that we heard initially, and I thought, "How perfect Robin portrayed this part," because, she had where she actually was talking to him, right, and we see it, but then to capture that voiceover and put it here, and the way that Robin did it was so perfect because it was just the tone in her voice, the way that she delivered it, the way that it was connecting to him. Thought it was so good, and then to see those flashbacks of when he and Mike first became friends. I mean, to me,
Oh,
honestly, out of everything that I've seen, that hit me the most because it's so innocent, it's so pure, it's love, it's friendship, all of it just really hit me, and then also seeing his mom and his brother and how important they are to him, that is what brings him to who he really is.
mhm,
And this Mike's words telling him, "You this is innate, like, maybe your mom didn't save you, maybe you saved your mom."
mhm,
And it's all of that playing in Will that gives him this power, lifts him up, and oh my gosh, I was, like, cheering when he raises all the Demogorgons, and it's all "Crick, crick, crick," just like Vecna did to all those poor people,
mhm.
which was a horrific death for these
Ugh.
kids, and then now he's able to do it to each of these demogorgons. And just, I love the stopping in the emotions, just how they're all like frozen over Mike and Lucas and Robin, and they're just in their faces and how he can see what their reaction is. Just all of it was just like perfection. It was perfection. Like that was like one of the best scenes that I've ever seen on television. I'm so glad that, all of us got to witness that. And yeah, it was just an amazing, amazing scene. One thing that I've been wanting to bring up was earlier when we were talking about Max too, was that memory of Joyce being in Vecna's memory.
Mhm,
So we know Will is not an accident. He's never been an accident. That
Oh, you mean
is,
like how he was taken?
yes, because
Yeah.
now we know Henry knew Joyce when they were younger. So he knows Joyce because we hear Joyce's voice in the background when Henry was in high school or whatever it was, some play was happening and Joyce was handing out flyers because we hear her voice because her voice is so prominent. And, we hear that through Max. And I'm like, holy crap. Joyce was in Henry's
Like high
backstory?
school?
That
Mhm.
is just like, yeah. And so now we know, oh my gosh, he took Will, knowing that that's Joyce's child. And that's when he threw her. He didn't throw her that hard, but he threw her to get her out of the way. But he could have killed her and he didn't kill her either. So
Mhm.
I'm like, oh wow, he's saving Joyce. Or not saving her. He's not killing her, I should say. I don't
Yeah.
know what he's doing or what he's thinking, but
I saw a
I thought
thing
that
and
was
someone was speculating that maybe Henry is Will's father. I don't know.
no, I
I don't know.
not.
I don't know about that. I
No,
mean, yeah,
because she's married to, no,
well,
because
that
she's
doesn't mean
married to,
anything.
that doesn't, but what I'm saying is it wasn't that long ago. And Joyce doesn't remind me like, okay, here she had Jonathan with the father or her husband, and then she's going to go, it just doesn't fit her for me.
I think
If
anything's
that's it,
possible.
I don't like it. I don't like that storyline. I don't think it works.
But
It doesn't work
didn't
for
the
me.
dad, like, treat her like crap? Like, maybe it was, like,
He
not
did. He
intentional
did.
and but what's
True.
confusing me is
That
that
could be true,
Henry,
I guess.
when we see him in, like, the back in Elle's story, he looks young. Like, he doesn't look like, because like, Elle's what, 10 or something? So, like, how is
Yeah.
he like, he doesn't like, the actor's my age. Like, I don't think
Yeah.
he's not very old. So, I don't think that could
Yeah.
work out because I don't know. And it's also, if that is his kid, why is he doing this to him? I guess he's just like his
Right.
dad, but
Exactly.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. Anything is possible. You are right. But I don't feel like it's Joyce's character to do that. I just don't. It just doesn't feel like her, but she could have been a different person at that point in her life. But at the same time, Will's not that old. So it wouldn't have been that
Mm-mm.
long ago. It just doesn't feel like something she would do. I don't know. Who's to say? Who's to say?
Yeah. Yep. We'll
Well,
find out though. Hopefully.
so what about any other miscellaneous storylines? I do want to find out what you think about Jonathan getting Murray to bring him that ring to possibly propose to Nancy.
Yeah, I don't care for them. I don't know. I don't want them to break up, but I don't really there's much, I don't know. They're just not interesting to me. I think he
Well,
needs
it's
to figure out if he wants to be with her or if he's just doing it to like make Steve. Like, I just don't like how he interacts with Steve and vice versa.
yeah,
I think it would be the wrong time. I don't think you should do it. Like, I think it's a wrong time for that, but I guess when he got the ring, he didn't know that like things were going to go real bad.
yeah.
But
Well,
I don't
Murray's the one
know.
encouraging him. He's like, no, 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 it's not a good time. I'm not going to do it right now because of
Yeah, well,
everything that's happening. So he did step back and not,
mhm.
he knows it's not the right time. But I think it's interesting that they're even bringing that up, like that they even put it in the storyline. I thought, oh,
Yeah.
wow, that's kind of interesting that they did that.
But they're like just out of high school.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, yeah. What about Derek?
I love Derek. I don't like how he bullies
At first
Holly,
I
but
didn't. At first I
right?
didn't. I'm like, what a jerk little kid. Get
Yeah.
out of here. But then once he saw the other side, then he cracked me up.
My favorite thing is like, so Joyce is talking to him and she's like, and remember, you're not dipshit Derek. And he goes, I am delightful Derek. It's like howling. It was so cute. Not really sure I like how he got the other like kids to move, like smacking him in the head with that like
I
paint
know.
thingy.
That
It was
was
like, that's so
funny.
violent.
That was funny.
Oh,
So
maybe that's the funny
funny.
moment. Yeah, it was so funny. And I actually read that the actor wasn't supposed to have a big part, but they liked him so much that they like wrote more for him. He got the Steve
I
treatment.
love that. Yeah.
I thought it was funny that Erica got involved with his family and she's like, eat your damn pie. But what kind of pie was that, do you
Oh, I
think?
forgot.
Mhm.
I don't know, but that was so funny
Like a
too.
shoe fly
And
pie,
then
I think.
that girl wouldn't eat it, and that was so funny because that could be realistic, right? It's like, "I don't want the pie. I don't want those extra calories." "What?
Yep.
You want me to have more calories? Oh, that's what your plan is, just to
Uh-huh.
make me fat."
I do wish we got more out of Erica, like, I wish we could have involved her in, like, more of stuff and not just, like, used her for, like, our evil genius. Because like,
Yeah.
she is I do like I think I just wanna see more of her because I just like the character a lot, but what'd you think of Delightful Derek?
I thought like I said, I thought he was at first, I did not like him at all. I'm like, because he was fighting against him, and I knew when Joyce was all, "I'm just a mom, I'm helping her," and then he's all spitting out like, "Oh, you're a kidnapper, and you're gonna go to jail," and all this stuff. I'm like, "Oh my god." But
Yeah,
then I'm
little
glad
drama.
that I I know, but I'm glad that he saw what was really gonna happen and understood quickly. Because if he had continued, then I would not have been happy with his character
Mm,
at all. But I love how he quickly came to the other side and knew what he could do and how he could help. And even when he tells the military, "You're a bunch," I don't know if he calls them, I don't know what he calls them, something. I don't recall now, but he was funny. He is funny. So a great addition this year. I love how they always have a really good addition to
mm,
the group. So yeah, I thought that worked. Okay, volume 2,
mhm.
December 25th. I'm ready. Tell me, Sam, what are you hoping to see?
I would like more on the origin of Vecna. I would like to see or I wanna just maybe see hope that Max returns, but I don't think she'll return before Lucas has to go rescue her. Like, I'm curious why the Demogorgons are going after her, and I wanna know what Eight's doing. I wanna know how she got captured and I wanna know what we are not what she's either hiding from us or what she's projecting that we are seeing that's actually, like, not there. Maybe she's hiding for Dr. K. I'm just curious, like, what she's hiding and why they have her. What about you?
I'm really curious about what is going to happen with 8 and 11, how they're going to work together, how Will is going to work with them, because Will's powers are different in that he is able to communicate and with the hive mind, right?
Mm,
And being able to work that way, where 11 has telekinetic powers, if that's the right way to term that. And so it'll be interesting to see how they all three can work together to get the world right again, get Hawkins back to where it needs to be. I do want to see Vecna's, the rest of Vecna's story, because there's still a story to be told, right? We're
mhm.
kind of like only halfway through. So we still have a lot more to learn. And how is each of these stories going to work out? Where are we going to see these characters? Who's going to survive and who may not? That's going to be so heartbreaking. So that will be very interesting to see. And I saw or I heard from everybody that the finale is just like had people like gut-wrenching tears coming out, even though they felt like everybody's story ended well. So I am like, oh, we are
Not ready.
gonna, I don't know, we're gonna feel it.
With Will being tied to the hive mind, when if they're killed, does that because he does get hurt whenever he's, like, connected to them. So I'm hoping, like, because whenever, like, the Demogorgon got hit by Steve's car, like, he fell to the ground. Like, he was, like, writhing in pain, right? Is that
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that does worry me. No, absolutely. I'm really afraid for Will. But you know what just came across my mind, and you had already said it, like, what if something, and I know he's not the biggest character as Jonathan, but maybe the whole reason that he got the ring, it's like maybe something's gonna happen to Jonathan, because why are they showing that he has a ring and he's gonna propose? And you're right, they
Mhm.
are young. Why would they put that in there? But maybe it's like, "Oh, look, he really loved her. He was gonna do this, but then something happens, and then
Yeah.
we think
Ugh.
it's gonna be Steve, but could it be Jonathan?" Right?
That's gonna
Ah!
hit
I don't
Joy
know.
so hard because she's gonna blame herself because she's let her son drapes all in the upside down while she keeps the other one. Like, and yeah, that was I actually did. I thought of that. I didn't want to say it because I don't want to put it out in the world.
I know. Don't
But
put it out in the universe.
But I do think it might
holy
be him.
crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, because why would he get a ring? Because it's trying to show you, look, this is the step he was going to take. And oh my God. Oh my God, Sam. No. This is crazy. Okay. Well, so much to speculate, so much. I don't know. Friends out there, let us know what you think, your thoughts, your theories, your favorite moments. We want to know, please. Share it with us, and you can reach out to us wherever you're watching us. If you're on YouTube, you can leave us a comment. If not, you can go to social media. You can get to all of that in our show notes, which will take you to screensandfocus.com. And once you're on our website, you can get to all of our social media there, or you can just look up Screens and Focus Podcast. You can even call us if you want to leave us a voicemail, and that is 669-223-8542. And that phone number is also in the show notes. So you can reach out to us because we want to know what you're thinking. And we normally have our TV and movie recommendations, but we're going to be talking about Wicked, and we're also going to give you other TV and movies to watch. So look for that in a couple of days. That's going to be a bonus episode. But I want to thank Sam for being here to talk about Stranger Things Season 5, Volume 1. Thank you, Sam.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure talking about the first 4 episodes, and I cannot wait to see what happens with 3 and then 1, and I'm not ready for it at all. Like, no. Like, I don't know how funny I'll be.
I'm so grateful. Yeah. I know, right? We'll be bawling. Oh my God. No, not on the next one, though. I don't think on the next one. We're going to
probably on
be
like the one after
needles.
that.
Yeah. But honestly, I am so grateful to have you here with me to talk about it, because who else would, be there to break it all down with me? And so thank you so much for being here to be my sounding board and to help me along and make me think of other things that I hadn't thought about. So I appreciate you so much. And all of you out there, thank you so much for joining us. We hope we gave you some thoughts, theories to think about. And again, please share any of those with us. And remember to keep watching, keep exploring, and keep those screens in focus. We will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.